Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review I've got something that, to be honest, I'm quite intrigued at having a look at. So what we've got here, it looks like it is not an official Hasbro or Takara product. It is, from what I can make out, it is definitely a knockoff version of Transformers Prime Wheeljack, but whether or not it's oversized or not we will only find out when I open up the box. So yeah, the reason why we've got this is because this is on sale in Show Z, which is where I got it from. There's going to be a direct link in the description for you to get one for yourself, and as I've been asked by quite a few subscribers now to do some KO comparisons, I'm going to continue to do this. But a huge thank you to RJ as well, who's one of my subscribers, and that is in fact where this has come from. He has lent me this, and as I say, you can see on the packaging on the outside, that's definitely Wheeljack is his appearance in Transformers Prime. But I'm quite surprised at the packaging. It looks really nice. Okay, so it doesn't look to be an oversized one. It just looks, it's got a different paint job as well. It's well packaged, and he's got an absolute abundance of accessories. So let me set him free from here, and then we can have a real good look at him. And of course I'll bring in the original, and we can do some comparisons as well. So then, here he is, pretty much out of the packaging. I've just adjusted him ever so slightly to get him into pretty much the robot mode. And what a blast from the past this is. This is, of course, as I've said, this is, of course, the Transformers Prime Wheeljack mould, just with slightly different, I suppose, colours and tampos on him. So of course everything's going to be exactly the same. So the articulation on the head is on a ball and socket, so that will go all the way around. We've also got the light pipe in there which will work on the eyes. Let's see if I can get this to work even though there's a light face in it. Yep, you can see there that they still light up lovely even though there's light coming through from this particular camera. That's a nice little touch. The arms do go all the way around. They can be restricted due to the fact that, of course, the forearms spin around for transformation. There is a swivel at the top of the shoulder. There is a bicep flexion. Now the only thing, and again this is exactly the same as the original, that the windscreens do tend to get in the way. Now whether this or not, because it's a KO and my memory isn't the greatest at the moment, if whether these seem to be a bit looser, I'm not too sure. Once again, I will get the original one down so we can do a full comparison as well. There is not a waist swivel, but the hips are on, they're like ball and sockets, but they're not. They're on the multi, I suppose, hinged ones, which can kick all the way up and indeed turn out, as you can see as well. Kick all the way back up. You've got your knee bend excuse me, and you can see that the heels, the feet will tilt, rock, etc. But again, just like the original, it's good at covering up the gaps. There's not super huge hollow bits everywhere. The arms, it makes me laugh because, again, I'll bring in the original in a second later on. The original G1 figure tended to, if you look at it, and you'll see again in a second, a bit out of proportion arms, and this one is no different, to be fair. It is exactly that. It's just your KO version. It's just a KO'd version of your Transformers Prime Wheeljack, but with loads more accessories. So we've got two heads. These just pop on and off. Again, I'll do that in the next part. We've also got normal other accessories, so again we'll bring these in, and then just an absolute abundance of katana swords by the looks of it. So all things considered, first impressions, he's really good, especially because, you know, Wheeljack isn't that easily accessible now anymore. This is definitely the best KO figure that I've reviewed so far. I've had a few bad experiences with the Rise of the Beast ones, but this one, to be honest, I can't really find fault with it at the moment. But that's all there is to say about it. In fact, let's just have a quick look again. So you can see all of these are all, the tampographs on it, etc. They're all fine. They look good. The colour on it, it matches all the way around. There's the detail on the wheels. As I say, I'm actually really surprised by this one at the moment. So we're going to come back, and he's going to be in his alternate mode. So here he is in his alternate mode then. Quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is because I've separately uploaded it as a tutorial to keep the main length of the video down, and indeed to hopefully help out other people who may be struggling with it. And to be honest, again, it's not too bad. It's pretty good, to be fair. Plastic feels okay. Transformation process, we know it's the same as the Prime, but what I mean by this is everything seems to piece together relatively well. Sometimes with the, I suppose, lower quality products, you get things like not tabbing in, coming apart, or not coming together, or in the case, as I say, if anybody wants to watch my review of the KO battle trap, it just didn't go together at all. I couldn't transform it. I had to pretty much abandon it, which I didn't really want to do, but it just wouldn't piece together. I thought I was going to break it. But we've got nice translucent plastic on the window. I know lots of people don't like it. I really like it, especially when it's like this, where it's not showing off too much. You can see it's pretty much joined together quite well. The wheels, again, all look okay. They're not too bad. With regards to the Transformers Prime vehicle of this, I'm going to put it in a separate full-on comparison video, so you will be seeing that in a more detail in a smaller video. With regards to his size, it is, of course, I suppose what you would class as a standard deluxe sort of scale sized figure. So there is one of the Jeeps, I say the Jeep with the crossover. This is the other crossover. Again, that's a bit bigger figure. And then this, of course, is a huge deluxe figure, but it gives you an idea. So it's not as long, but it's wider, so you've probably got the same amount of mass and amount of weight there in these figures. I've got a Mech Fans Toys Sandstorm here as well, which will give you an idea of just, I suppose, how much bigger he is than that. Now, with regards to his accessories, these two blasters, of course, are for when he's in robot mode. We can attach him to the shoulders and put him on his hand. This, of course, I don't think we can really use, or maybe attach. No, not really, not in this mode. And there is 4 swords, but only 2 of them have got the side attachment handles. Now, these look really good. They are relatively sharp. They're not as pliable as you'd expect, to be fair, but again, this isn't an official Hasbro product, so it's not going to be, I suppose, 100% child safe, to be fair. So just be aware with this if you are looking to get it as a standing alternative. They're not amazingly sharp, but you know, you'll feel that, and they don't bend as you think they would. That looks really cool. I like the look of that. There's just a shame there's nothing else you can really do, to my knowledge. Again, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, of what you can do with this. I'm just seeing if that will tab in or over anything, because it looks like it might do with the shape of what we've got going on there. These ones, though, these are much more pliable. Them are much more firm, much more sturdy and robust. These are quite, well, they're a lot thinner. I think that's how you can tell. But again, there you go. For what it is, for what it looks like, it's not a bad figure. Right, let's come back final time with him in his robot mode. So then, back for the final time with him in his robot mode. Let's have a look at how we can use and display him with his accessories. We'll do some size comparisons, and I'll do a very brief one with, as I say, the actual official version, but I'm going to be saving the most in-depth comparisons for a video, because I've got to be honest, guys, straight up, I'm completely stunned you know, how good this is. I don't really like to say stuff like that, but I've got to be honest, I'm an honest reviewer. I don't really like, as I say, saying that the KOs are as good as the originals, but in this case, who knows, because it's really, really good. Anyway, right, let's have a look at what we can do with these accessories. So first and foremost, if we want, we can change the head. This is quite simple. There's a ball and socket joint there. Just apply a little bit of pressure to the bottom of the head, just enough to pop that out like so. And then, of course, the opposite way around. This time, apply all the pressure at the back, and that just pops in, no problem whatsoever. So you've now got a different expression on him. Now, please do let me know in the comments, is the original version of this figure that scarce that they warranted to do a KO? And indeed, perhaps add all these abundance of accessories, because there is an absolute load of them. There's a load of them. There's these as well. Now, I've got to confess, these did confuse me a little bit, because I was looking at them thinking, what do you need to do? And especially as there's no instructions. But what you do is you take this here, you sort of disconnect it like so. He says trying his hardest to disconnect it. You can then rotate it around 180 degrees, and you've got a choice. You can put these in his hands like blasters, like so. He's definitely still out of proportion, isn't he? Maybe that's the only negative thing that I've found so far, that the forearms are a little bit too loose. Anyway, so you've got a choice. You can either put them in his hands, but what I think these look far better at, if I can just disconnect this enough, is if you turn the shoulders right around like this, so you've got the yellow part at the top, you can then pop these one either side like so, and then you've got like some rocket launchers coming over the shoulders as well, which means, of course, that you can then still give him either one of his swords, because he's got 4, remember, as I said, I showed you in the other mode. So you can really, I suppose, stylize this guy up like proper, dare I say, ninja. Are they katana swords? I'm not too sure, but they're not too far off. So yeah, really good with regards to that, to be honest. Right, let's bring in some figures for the comparisons. So obviously this is a completely different design. This is G1 design, but remember I mentioned very early in the video that they're quite similar in the fact that they've got these really long arms that are completely out of proportion with the rest of the body. So that's quite funny that they've managed to do that as well. And as I say, I completely forgot with the original Prime figure, but yeah, you've got these really long arms that, to be honest, just when you look at them properly, it's a little bit strange. Right, let's bring in some I suppose just mainline figures. I was going to bring in loads of Prime figures, but I think because it's such an old toy line now, I just thought I'd bring in some of these just to give you an idea of scale and size. So there's a deluxe figure, there is a Voyager class figure, I've got a couple of core class figures here now. So it's interesting, obviously, that with, I think the original one, is it got to be about in 2010, 2011, something like that? So we're talking, 13 years or so ago. And at least they've managed to consistently keep the same size with regards to these. So that's some mainline figures. If you collect G1, I've got a Prime, I've got a Predacon, and of course I've got a Bumblebee. You always get a sort of gist of what I'm reviewing when I'm bringing up these figures. So yeah, expect a Predacon coming up soon as well. Right, now let's have a look at some third-party figures. Now again, I know these don't scale with these figures. It's just to give every collector out there, no matter what toy line they collect, an idea of the scale and the size of these figures. So Mechanic Studios, Magic Square, New Age, and Iron Factory. So again, that's how big it is. It's bigger than them. You tend to find that the what's the word I'm after, the third-party legends come in between the core and the deluxe size. Now, just again, very briefly with this, as I say, please check out the main comparison video for the full exactly that full main comparison. This one you've obviously got to respect. It's a lot older, and to be honest, I did just get this out of storage in the attic. It's usually the way around. You'd expect the KO to be, the duller color or whatever, but they've nailed it. I think the only thing that's slightly different is just this little bit on the chest. The color scheme everywhere else, the detail on the wheels, everything, it's pretty much identical. As I say at the beginning part of this section of the video, really hate saying that because it's a really good copy. That's a different color as well. There we go. That is a slightly different color as well, and maybe these are a little bit looser, but otherwise it's a really good version of this figure. To be honest, as I said, that's pretty much it. You don't want to see me putting 4 swords in his hands, all that sort of things. You can just get the gist of what you can do with these, and maybe, if you wanted to, I don't think it'd look that good. You could pop some on the sides. That's the original ones, that is, to be honest. I don't know now I've said that. Maybe that does look quite good. Bit like I don't know. No, that's too much, isn't it? It's way too much. Anyway, that is definitely all I've got to say about this guy. So if he is really expensive as in the original on the secondary market and you want a stand-in, this is pretty good. Let's be honest, this is the Wonder Warrior, and this is available on Show Z. I've just knocked a figure over it. There's a direct link in the description if you want to get him, and of course there's a comparison video and indeed tutorials on the transformation processes as well. Let me know what you think of him in the comments, guys. Take care.